All right, welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're going to be looking at a couple of personal accounts.
Oh.
Um,
Oh, okay.
yeah, and these two stories, uh, I picked them because they really get into some uncanny territory.
Interesting.
Yeah, and they really get you kind of thinking like, what is real and what could just be metaphor, or you know what I mean?
Oh, I know exactly what you mean. I love stories that play with those lines. Perception versus reality. Those are the best.
Yeah, totally. So the first story is called "The Man on the Sidewalk," and it basically starts with this guy, the narrator of the story, is a kid,
Okay.
and he's walking to school. And
Hmm.
he sees this man, and the man is like scowling, and he seems agitated.
Uh-uh.
Yeah, and the narrator's like kind of scared of him,
Right.
just because he's acting kind of strange.
Yeah, you get that feeling sometimes, like something's off.
Right, exactly. And so the man, he's like walking down the sidewalk, and then all of a sudden, he just collapses.
Oh.
Yeah, and he's like convulsing on the ground.
Oh, no.
And so the kid, he like runs over, and he's holding his umbrella.
Oh, is he holding it over the man?
Yeah, he's like holding the umbrella over him, like trying to help or something. And
Wow.
and then he sees these thin black strands coming out of the man's nostrils.
Oh, got like blood.
No, not blood. He specifically says it's not blood. It's like these thin black strands.
Like what? Hair.
Almost like, yeah, like hair, but he says they're moving purposefully like worms or something.
Ah, that's creepy. And what, they're just coming out of his nose?
Yeah, and then like slithering into the gutter.
This is okay. Already I'm hooked.
Yeah, it's messed up, right?
Totally.
So years later, the guy's all grown up, and he sees this video
Okay.
of a horsehair parasite coming out of a praying mantis.
Oh, have you ever seen those videos? They're terrifying.
Yeah, and it like totally reminds him of this incident.
Wow, that's a flashback I would want.
So he starts researching horsehair parasites, but it turns out they can't even infect humans.
Oh, so what were those things coming out of the man's nose?
Exactly. That's what's so freaky about it. Like, what did he actually see?
Yeah, that's a good question. I wonder if it's like some kind of unknown species or something.
Yeah, maybe.
There's so much we don't know about the natural world, right? Like new species are being discovered all the time.
Yeah, that's true. But here's the thing that I thought was really interesting. The narrator, he kind of links this whole experience to like the increasing rage and negativity he's seeing in society.
Hmm.
Like he's wondering if there's some kind of connection.
Oh, interesting. So, like those parasitic strands are a metaphor for the spread of negativity.
Yeah, kind of like that. Like this dark, creepy thing is spreading and infecting people.
I see. So maybe it's not about literal parasites, but more about this like metaphorical invasion of negativity.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it really gets to the heart of what makes this story so unsettling. It taps into this primal fear of something invading our bodies and taking control.
Yeah, and it makes you think about how our perceptions can be shaped by our own anxieties and fears, right?
Right. And like how our own personal experiences can color the way we see the world around us.
Exactly. Like, even though he knows horsehair parasites can't actually infect humans, the memory of that childhood experience still has this powerful hold on him?
It's like logic can only take you so far when you're dealing with something that's truly uncanny, right?
Totally. And I think that's one of the things that makes this story so effective. It plays with those boundaries between the rational and the irrational, the real and the imagined.
Yeah, and it leaves you with this lingering sense of unease. Like, what if there's something out there that we just don't understand?
Right. It's like, what else might be lurking in the shadows?
And that's what's so great about stories like this. They force us to confront the unknown and to grapple with the fact that we don't always have all the answers.
Absolutely. And it makes you wonder, what other things might we be misinterpreting or misperceiving?
Yeah. And maybe that's not always a bad thing. Maybe there's some beauty in the mystery.
Right. Like there's still room for wonder and awe in the world, even in the face of the unknown.
Totally. So that's The Man on the Sidewalk. Now, let's move on to the second story.
Okay, I'm ready. What's this one about?
This one is called The Rag and Bone Shop, and it's about this guy named Michael who's struggling with alcoholism.
Okay.
And he's been sober for 137 days.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's a big accomplishment,
It's
right?
huge.
But then his girlfriend, Sophie, she breaks up with him.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and she feels like he needs to seek deeper help, like therapy or something,
Right.
but he's kind of resistant.
That's tough. It's hard to admit you need help sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. So he's feeling really down, and he reaches for this hidden bottle of Jack Daniels that he's been keeping.
Uh-oh, I hear where this is going.
Yeah, he's about to break his sobriety, But then, instead of drinking, something really weird happens.
Okay, this is what I'm here for. What happens?
He finds himself transported to this, like, super fancy bar.
What?
Yeah, it's called the Rag and Bone Shop.
Rag and Bone Shop, huh? That's a strange name for a bar.
Right, and it's, like, dark and smoky, and there's this creepy jazz music playing.
This sounds like it's getting interesting.
Yeah, and all the patrons are like these strange, unnerving characters.
Ooh, I love a good atmospheric setting. Makes it feel real.
And then there's the bartender, right?
Okay.
And the bartender, he knows Michael's name.
He knows his name. That's creepy.
Yeah, and he seems to understand Michael's struggles with addiction.
Like he's been expecting him.
Almost. Yeah, like it's like he's been waiting for Michael to show up.
Wow. Okay, so this bar is definitely not your average watering hole.
Right. And then the bartender starts trying to tempt Michael to drink.
Ooh, classic temptation scenario. Like a test of his willpower.
Exactly. And it's like this subtle manipulation. He's not forcing him, but he's definitely playing on Michael's weaknesses.
I see. So it's like a psychological battle going on.
Yeah, exactly. And to make matters worse, this beautiful woman named Lydia shows up.
Oh, here we go, adding another layer of temptation.
Right. And she's all like, come on, have a martini with me.
Classic. The allure of beauty and pleasure, it's a powerful force.
Yeah, and Michael is starting to feel really uncomfortable.
Makes sense. He's trying to stay sober, and this whole situation is like a minefield of temptation.
Right. He wants to leave, but it's like the door keeps moving further away.
Oh, that's interesting. Like he's trapped,
Yeah, exactly. He feels trapped in this bar, trapped in his own addiction.
It's like a metaphor for the way addiction can feel, right? Like it's this inescapable force pulling you back in.
Yeah, and then it gets even weirder.
Okay, lay it on me.
The bartender, he shows Michael this TV.
A TV?
Yeah, and it's showing Michael in real time.
What? Like live footage of him?
Yeah, and he's at home drinking heavily, all alone.
Whoa, okay, that's trippy. Like some kind of out-of-body experience?
And it's like the bar is trying to convince Michael that he's already made the choice to drink.
Ooh, that's messed up. Like a self-fulfilling prophecy kind of thing.
Yeah, like he's doomed to fail.
That's heavy stuff. I wonder what it means,
Yeah, it's definitely open to interpretation, but I think it's interesting how it plays on this idea of guilt and shame
Yeah.
as triggers for relapse.
Right, like seeing himself already giving in, even though he hasn't touched the bottle in the bar, could make him feel like, why even bother fighting it?
Exactly. Like, what's the point? I'm already a failure.
That's a dangerous mindset for someone struggling with addiction.
Totally. And to make matters worse, Sophie, his ex-girlfriend, shows up on the TV.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and she's like moving on with her life, seemingly unaffected by his struggles.
Ouch, that's gotta hurt.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the bar is really piling it on, trying to convince him that he's lost everything.
Wow, it's like they're playing on all his insecurities and vulnerabilities, trying to break him down.
Exactly. But then something really amazing happens.
Okay, I need a glimmer of hope here.
Michael, he decides to fight back.
Yes.
He defies the bartender.
Good for him.
Yeah. He says, like, no, I'm not giving in. I want to change.
That's powerful. Like he's choosing to believe in his own strength, even when everything seems hopeless.
And he starts struggling to reach the door, to escape the bar.
It's like he's fighting his way back to reality, back to his own life.
And there are these voices, these taunts, trying to pull him back in.
Those must represent the doubts and temptations he's facing, right?
Yeah, like the whispers of addiction trying to lure him back into the darkness.
Wow. This is intense. It's like a battle for his soul.
But he keeps fighting. He keeps pushing forward. And finally, he escapes the bar.
I was on the edge of my seat, so what happens next?
He finds himself back in his kitchen.
Back in reality.
Yeah, and he's still holding the unopened bottle of Jack Daniels.
Oh, wow. So he actually resisted the temptation.
Yeah. But he realizes something really chilling.
What's that?
The bar, the bartender, Lydia, all of it.
Yeah.
It was all a representation of his internal struggle.
So it wasn't a real place.
Maybe not in the traditional sense, but it was real in the sense that it represented his addiction, his inner demons, all the things he's battling within himself.
That's deep. So even though he escaped the bar, he knows that the struggle isn't over.
Right. It's like a reminder that addiction is something he'll always have to face, even if he stays sober.
So it's not a happy ending, but it's a realistic one, right?
Yeah, I think so. It's honest about the challenges of recovery, the fact that it's an ongoing process, not a one-time fix.
I think that's an important message for people to hear, Recovery isn't easy, but it's definitely worth fighting for.
Absolutely. And it shows that even in the face of our darkest impulses, we still have the power to choose a different path.
Yeah, there's always hope, even in the midst of struggle.
Exactly. And I think that's a powerful message to take away from both of these stories, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, even when things feel scary or uncertain, we still have the ability to choose to fight back and to create a better reality for ourselves.
Yeah, I love that. It's a reminder that we're not just victims of our circumstances. We have agency. We have the power to shape our own destinies.
And that's a pretty empowering thought, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It gives me chills just thinking about it.
So, what do you think about these stories?
I mean, they're both so thought-provoking, you know?
Yeah.
And in a way, they're both about facing our fears, whether it's the fear of something unknown and potentially dangerous, or the fear of our own inner demons, you know?
Hmm.
And I think they both offer this message of hope, this idea that even in the face of darkness, we can choose to fight back, to choose to believe in ourselves, and to choose to create a better future.
I think that's a beautiful way to put it. And it makes me wonder, what about the folks listening in?
Yeah.
What are some of their rag and bone chops in your own lives? What
Yeah.
choices are you grappling with right now?
Yeah. I'd love to hear what our listeners are thinking about all of this. Share your thoughts and interpretations with us on social media using the hashtag the deep dive.
We're eager to hear your perspectives and to continue this exploration together. After all, the beauty of these stories lies in their ability to spark meaningful conversations and to challenge us to delve deeper into the mysteries of the human experience.
Totally agree. And maybe by sharing our experiences and insights, we can help each other navigate those dark and uncertain spaces and emerge stronger on the other side.
Yeah, I love that. It's like we're all in this together, right?
Exactly. We're all connected and we all have something to offer.
Well said. And who knows, maybe by shining a light on the shadows, we can discover some hidden gems along the way.
Absolutely, because sometimes the most beautiful things are found in the most unexpected places.
So true.
And that's what makes life so fascinating, when you say.
Absolutely. All right, so until next time, keep diving deep, keep questioning, and keep choosing the path that leads you toward a more meaningful and authentic life.
Can't wait to see you back here for another deep dive.
That whole rag and bone shop, it's like going to this weird underworld, right?
Yeah, kind of like those old myths about going down into Hades or something.
Yeah, exactly. To face your demons.
Yeah. And those kinds of stories, those myths, I mean, they usually show the hero like changing,
Yeah, they come back different.
Different, right? And stronger, I guess.
Stronger, yeah. And that's, I mean, it's kind of like recovery, right? It's not like one thing happens and then you're done.
No, not at all.
It's like work.
Definitely.
But that whole thing with the TV, I keep thinking about it.
Yeah, the TV was weird, huh?
Like showing Michael drinking at home.
Yeah, like, was that supposed to be like what was going to happen if he had a drink?
But I was thinking, like, it's almost like the bar was trying to say, see, you're already doing it anyway.
Yeah, like a self-fulfilling prophecy or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, I mean, like, if you think you're going to fail, then...
You probably will, yeah.
Yeah. It's like if you believe something's going to happen, then...
It's more likely, right.
More likely, yeah. Kind of like the placebo effect, even though...
It's like with medicine.
Medicine, yeah. But the idea is similar.
Yeah, totally. If you believe in something strongly enough,
Yeah.
then it can have a real impact. Even if...
It's not technically real, right?
Yeah. So I think that's what's going on with the TV. Like it's trying to trick Michael into...
Giving up.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
But he doesn't.
He doesn't. He fights back.
Yeah. He was like, nope, not today, bar.
Right. I'm getting out of here.
And it seemed like it was hard, right? Like the door was moving.
Yeah, like he was really struggling to get out.
That's like visually showing how hard it is to get away from that.
From addiction.
Yeah, from addiction. It's like pulling you back in.
Yeah, and those voices.
Uh,
Like taunting him.
oh, yeah. That was creepy.
Those must be like his, I don't know.
His doubts.
Yeah, like the things holding him back.
Or tempting him.
Yeah,
But he got out.
he did. It's like he chose to believe in himself.
Right. That he could do it.
Yeah, that he could actually change.
That's inspiring, I think.
Yeah.
And he went back, he was back in his kitchen holding the bottle.
Unopened.
Unopened. But
Yeah.
then it's like
Oh, I know this part.
he realizes, right, that the bar
Wasn't real.
wasn't real exactly. But
It was.
it was, right? Like
it was like his addiction. Yeah.
It was a metaphor or
Like a symbol
a symbol
of everything he was fighting inside.
Yeah.
So it's kind of sad, Because even though he escapes the bar,
the struggle's not over.
right, he still has to.
It's like it's going to keep coming back.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know, I thought it was hopeful too.
Hopeful. How?
Because he showed he can resist it. Like he has that strength in him.
Yeah, that's true. He made the choice.
He made the choice, exactly.
And that's what matters, right?
Yeah. And I think that's kind of like The takeaway from both of these
Yes,
stories,
yeah.
like we always have choices,
You do.
even when things are like really messed up.
Even when things are scary,
Yeah. We can always choose.
choose to fight, choose to believe.
Yeah. And that's, I don't know, that gives me hope.
Me too.
So both of these stories, like they don't wrap everything up in a nice bow.
No, the dumb.
It's more like they make you think, you know?
Yeah, and that's what makes them so interesting, I think. It's not all spelled out for you.
Right. You got to like figure it out yourself.
Exactly. And there's not always one right answer either.
Yeah, there could be lots of different ways to interpret them.
Totally. And I think that's like a reflection of real life, right? Things aren't always black and white.
It's messy, right?
Yeah, messy. And sometimes there are no easy answers.
That's true. So these stories, they're both kind of unsettling.
Yeah, definitely. They get under your skin a bit.
But I think they're also kind of hopeful, you know?
Hopeful. How so?
Because they show that even when things are really messed up, we still have the power to choose.
Oh, I see what you mean. Like, we're not just helpless victims.
Yeah, exactly. We can decide how we react, how we interpret things.
And those choices, they matter.
Yeah, they really do.
Because they shape who we are, and who we become.
It's like every choice is a step in a direction.
Exactly. And we're always moving, always changing.
So, with that in mind, I want to ask the folks listening.
Yeah.
Think about these stories. Think about your own life.
What are your rag and bone chops?
What are the choices you're wrestling with right now?
We'd love to hear your thoughts. Come talk to us on social media. Use the hashtag the deep dive.
We love hearing from you guys, and it helps us all learn from each other, right?
Totally. It's like we're all on this journey together.
Exactly. So, until next time, keep diving deep, keep questioning, and keep choosing the path that leads you towards a more meaningful and authentic life.
Yeah, and remember, even in the dark, there's always a light inside you. Just gotta find it.